How's it going, guys? It's the Director. In my previous videos, I covered how to play the game with a few advanced tips and also a director's guide to teach what it takes and what it means to direct. In this video, I'm going to be covering loot routes with the help of two top 100 players, SHT Striker and Skylark. I'm making this video because there's a lot of information and techniques that need to be explained to loot effectively. I'm splitting this guide into two parts. This video will be loot routes explained on the west side of the map, so the northwest, west, and southwest zones. My next video will cover the east side. The first thing you need to understand about loot is that it does not spawn randomly. Yes, when you are looting, you will notice that a tree or a chest may not be in the same spot, or it may not even be there at all when you're playing from game to game, but loot does have spawn locations. The only consistent thing that will never change is that you always spawn with two trees. For the rest of the video, I'll be letting pro players Striker and Skylark explain routes while adding in their own tips on how to loot effectively. If this video helped you out, hit the like and the sub button, and if you want to see more content like this. If you have any guides you would like me to do, please go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thanks, guys.
Well, basically how loot works in this game is there are definitely set spawns for loot, but not all of those spawns are in use at all times. So you'll get a spawn, you're always going to spawn on two trees, but everything around you is it's random, but it's not at the same time, because you're gonna see things that you should like expect and learn over time. So the thing about these set routes is that in this game you're never going to have a clear shot throughout your entire route. As you have 9 other players to worry about, you should be aware of your surroundings at all times, looking at the maps and the cabins, and basing your route on where players are based on where you're at. So if you're trying to do the bottom left zone and you want to move into the bottom right zone, you need to plan accordingly. If someone's going to push you, then you're going to have to either disengage, kill him, and change your route accordingly. There's never going to be a set route. You're going to have to improvise almost every single game with the number of players that are in the game trying to kill you. So you'll learn the spots. These are basically just showing you where all of the loot spots are, as these are not my normal loot routes, because I'm normally killing people. I'm a very aggressive player, so I'm always trying to be the most efficient with my routes. Alright, so you always spawn right next to true tree is all the time in Darwin. No matter what spawn you're at, you always have two trees. Now for this route we're in, it seems like, yep, the top right of the west zone. So once I take the two trees in the beginning, I head up here. This is what I call my default route. I'll head into this house. There's going to be a chair. Sometimes a chest will spawn either inside somewhere, or it'll spawn over in this canopy. And here's where I determine where my route goes. Sometimes there'll be a guy spawning here, but if he goes down south, I will head down south with him, especially if the guys in northwest are heading to northeast. So after that, I'll either go to this tree. Sometimes the tree spawns here. If it does, I'll go to that one, come down here and grab this tree. And I'll just keep heading down. There'll be a house down there. You can grab the house up here if you'd like. This tree's close, so I'll grab that as well. And as you keep playing the game, you'll learn all the different spawns. There's many different set spawns, but they are not always in use. Like this chest may not be here the next time. So from here, I'll just drop right down into this house and grab the chair. Every house, there's always at least one chair in them also. And from here, we'll go down. And a lot of times when you're developing your routes, you'll learn patterns of where people are going and what route you should take for the best optimization. So if I want to chase people that are in the southwest zone, I'll just take this boom shroom. Grab any of the loot around here. So there's a tree here. I hear a chest nearby. It's probably in the house. It is not. It should be on top of the house then. And sometimes you can have a chest in both the cabin and an additional spawn. It's all random, but they are set based. This chest won't be randomly here. It'll always be in this spot if it does spawn. So from here, and unfortunately we are closed. I'll normally start heading down to mid afterwards. So from here, I would either go up there, but we are closed currently, so I cannot do that. And we'll just start heading down here. Chair spawn here.
At one point do you craft on the move? Do you are you like you're getting a certain set amount of loot, like you know if you're not gonna engage?
I'm crafting lumberjack. If for lumberjack in this case, I'll craft as long as I have 3 wood. So because it requires 2, so now I'm left with 1. So I always have wood left over for a fire if need be. And like I said before, yeah, the chest spawns up there. And I'll just keep following around here. There's a house right here somewhere. House is close by though. Oh, it's over this hill. The house is. And from here, it's pretty much that's the end of the default.
You kind of want to set a path through the zone. You don't want to loot every single bit.
Yeah, I see a lot of that with some of the new players. They'll try to loot every single thing they see on their screen, and that's one of the most time wasting. Exactly, time wasting things in the game when you could just boom shroom right onto another tree or chair or find a cabin for that chest. You're wasting a lot of time going for every little tree, every little chair that's, you know, way far out, when you could just try to be the most efficient in your route planning. Alright, so now we are in the southwest zone. As always, you spawn next to 2 trees. Grab them real quick. I'll head over to this tree. Sometimes this tree isn't here for some reason, and luckily for me, the chair spawns. Both of these are not given at all times, but these are quick pickups. I'll head down here. A lot of people like to go left over here, but I think it's less efficient because of the snow, and you can just go straight this way, go for this tree. 2 trees can spawn there. They're not here this time. A chest can spawn here or inside or neither. So we'll grab this tree.
The show director is now closing a zone.
We got a chair. Again, spawns are not always set and permanent. Chair spawn that time, but a lot of times there could be nothing in that house. I'll go and grab this chair. And we hear a chest in the house to our right. So from here, I'm gonna grab 2 lumberjacks to speed things up. And I have 5 wood. 1 left over for a fire if need be. And we got a chair and 2 chests right next to each other, which is really good for early game. Especially if you can grab arrows, armor, 2 leather's pretty good too. Tripwires are not the greatest. Grab this tree. And then what I like to do is I like to backtrack a little bit and start heading around and looting the back side of the spawn. So grab this tree. Sometimes a chair spawns and another chest will spawn, often there. But it's not there this time. Craft another lumberjack. And the goal with using lumberjack for my loot routes is to get my lumberjack maxed by 3 minutes and 30 seconds max. If it's a good loot run, you should easily have lumberjack maxed in that time. And sometimes I normally don't bother with this house because often nothing ever spawns in it. Here's a chair spawn. There's another chair spawn right there. And then I'll move into this house and start gauging where I'm going to head off to now. So if there's enemies or not, if you're a passive player and there's no one there, go ahead into that zone. We're just going to pretend someone's in that zone because I'm an aggressive type player, so we'll start heading there. And from here, we're going to move on to the cave. Really good loot spawns in the cave. Up to 3 chests in the cave, many chairs, and a few pieces of wood. This is a very densely packed area for resource spawns, and that's why it's my favorite spawn in the game.
A new electronic is available.
You can easily max lumberjack out, and we're already maxed out by 330.
Perfect. So 330, you max it out just like you said, and you pretty much walked through that zone in a kind of zigzag line through it without going to all the edges. And then you're going to be going into the bottom right zone, and hopefully we can make that so I can keep it open while you do this route. So coming into this...
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's nothing spawned here. This is the first time I've actually seen this where it's only one chair.
There's one off to the left too as well. I can give you a warm-up as well really quickly so you can keep moving. Just explain this zone.
Yeah, so a chest will spawn right here. Chest could spawn, I think it's right there. And another chest will spawn, I'll show you guys real quick. Chair spawns here, and a chest will spawn right there. So we'll grab this real quick. Normally I wouldn't even bother coming up here if I don't hear it. And especially if it's just absolutely nothing in here, I wouldn't even bother, and I'll just head straight into this zone. Alright, so we spawn here in the middle zone. Normally you don't ever spawn in the middle, it's pretty uncommon. I think there's 5 or 6 spawns all around the map for middle. Alright, so we made our way to the top left zone from our middle spawn. From here, I like to head up the road a little bit. There's normally some good loot spawns up on the road itself. Good chair spawn here. There's normally more wood spawns up on this road. Unfortunately, I only see one. Just grab a couple lumberjacks. Middle spawns are definitely my least favorite spawns in the game because you kind of have to 100% improvise and just guess where you're going to head off to. So we'll grab the tree. Another tree spawn would be right there, and a chest can spawn on the ledge right over there. Just keep heading up. And as long as this zone isn't looted from someone else spawning here, we could just go ahead and start looting. A tree can spawn right there. This tree. We'll head into the cabin. A chest can spawn in the house itself, anywhere in here really, or on the ledge right here. Another chest zone is right there.
Skylark, head to top right zone.
Here's 2 chair spawns. Another chair spawn could be there. A couple chest zones in this spot would be right on that ledge, on this ledge, and in that house. Let's make another lumberjack. We'll head on to that chest. This one's a little weird. You kind of have to do like a little... You have to hug the cabin a little bit to get inside here. Right over here, a chest can spawn right next to the chair. As well as a couple more trees over by these 2 large ones.
The show director is now closing a zone.
And I'll start heading into the bottom left of the zone. Now here's a neat trick, because you can't normally run and jump onto this ledge. You're just not quick enough. You can gain some height and force yourself to roll, which gains you speed, and you'll jump right into the roll. Grab this chair. There's a house up here with a chest spawn and a couple wooden chair spawns. Only got 1 chair.
So you pretty much just went in a half circle right there.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's like a whole little route through there. That's perfect because you could have continued on that line and then went into the top right if you wanted to, or wherever, or you could backtrack, go to the left if it were open as well. So.
And normally, these 2 trees will not be here, as someone will often spawn right there. And I wouldn't even worry about the chair because that will most likely be taken.
A new electronic
So we could
is
just keep
available.
heading on. And if this zone wasn't closed, I would loot up this spot. There's a tree spawn there. There can be a chest spawn right there. A chair spawn, tree spawn, a chair spawn all the way down at that house. And you can also start looting down this way if you wanted.
Back to your original spot where you came
Yeah.
in. Full loop of that. So we got the whole left side of the map right there with all of our...
And a lot of this you will have to learn to improvise based on the situation, as some of these may already be looted. So if you see the little red things, that means someone has already looted it. So you would have to improvise and start learning the other routes that I'll show you. Be careful when you're walking across the bridge. Make sure that no one will shoot you into the lava. That has happened to me quite a few times.
Now forbidden. 2 zones
And
remaining.
if you could just give me a warm-up so I could show the rest of this little area. There's a chest spawn, chair spawn, and a couple wood spawns here. Chair here, another tree spawn here. And that's basically the loot route. A chair could spawn here as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So in this video, we covered the west side of the map. If you're interested in learning about the east side of the map, please come in and tune in for part 2. And as always, thanks guys.